Most players like it back here, and for some reason they like it is called space and time. I have lots of time to react to the ball and lots of space to get to the ball. But even in doubles, even though you like it back there, one of your real goals is to reduce your opponent's time and space. So we mentioned about as I come in how I made an approach volley. That was partially to take away their time and to give myself time to get in closer. So as I approach from the approaching volley, get into my ending volley zone, there's different psychological things that happen. First of all, I have to practice enough time that I feel comfortable doing it. Secondly, as I close in, I realize if my opponent hits the ball back to me, I have less time to react to the ball. So how do I manage that time? How do I get past that barrier? And typically there's 4 barriers when you're a volleyer. Number 1 is, where's my target? I don't have a target. So you need to practice hitting specifically 2 targets with measuring how many times you can do it out of 10. So you start to feel confident in that situation. And we know that repetition is the mother of skill if the skill is directed in a positive way. So perfect practice makes perfect, not practice makes perfect. So we want you to practice it by measuring how you're doing it. The second barrier is the amount of time I have to react to the ball. If I have less time to react, if I tense up, I reduce that time. So how can I react so I have more time? That goes back to how well I see the ball. The brain is really funny. It does amazing things. For example, if I told you I want you to go home and watch TV till you see a program that you like, which word would mean more specific to you? To watch TV or to see a program that you like? Well, the brain perceives watch and see as 2 different things. So generally I'm watching the court, but I need to see the ball. The challenge is I end up usually seeing the player and watching the ball. Well, in my peripheral vision or in my watching vision, I can only judge motion. I can't detect speed or spin or distance quite as well. So when I don't track the ball well, I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid of things I can't see. I'm not afraid of things that I see. And so in sports they talk about he's able to slow the game down. And what he does, he has enough confidence of seeing what's supposed to happen that the game actually slows down. He starts to see what to happen. So how do I know if I'm seeing the ball versus watching the ball? If I see it, I can actually see the ball rotating as it's hit. I can tell if it has a top spin or a side spin. You say like, whoa, are you kidding me? No, that's one of the skills you're going to work on in tuning up your game. Is develop the ability to see the spin so you can measure how fast the ball is going to get there. If I don't see the ball well, I don't know what timing I need to get to the ball or when to make the shot. So for example, if I watch a car coming down the street, I make a decision. I have time to get out in the street before the car gets there, or I don't have time. So how well I see the car coming decides how much I decide how to make that decision. How well I see the ball coming to me decides how much time I have to execute the shot I want to hit. A third barrier is not knowing where to hit. So I need to know from practicing where to play based on the last ball. If it's deep to my opponent in the baseline, my next shot's going to probably be a drop volley, a short volley, or an angle volley. So I have to practice all these options so I start to feel mentally confident as I play. The fourth barrier is, there's a lot of balls coming back. So I need repetition, and that's why we use the ball machine or practice. Because in a match, I only get to see the same shot maybe once, every other game or every set. The more repetition I can get, the more I start to know how to handle those situations. So I break down the 4 barriers by practicing with a purpose and making sure I practice seeing the ball, which tells me everything I need to know. How fast is the ball coming, what kind of spin does it have, and where do I need to be to make that happen. So your mental skills are tied in very much to your eyes and you're seeing the ball. And once you start seeing it, from the very first ball that you feed in to the very last ball you use to end the point and win the match.